What's up, guys? It's James with the Pham Real Estate Group, and we're going to be talking about 5 things that every first-time homebuyer need to know about. So the first thing that you guys need to really know about when it comes down to buying a house is really trying to figure out how much you can afford. So normally a good general rule when buying a house is about 28% of your gross income. So if you're making $6,000 a year, right, or $6,000 a month, okay, 28% of that or 30% of that should be allocated toward buying your monthly payment for a house. So roughly out of 6,000, you can afford about $2,000 a month in terms of mortgage. Okay, 1/3 of that would what you want to go down toward your mortgage, which is really good. So with about 30% roughly, or 33%, you can go as high as 33, but it really depends on how well you manage your finance. Okay, so I normally recommend 30% or even lower, depending on like where you're at in the income bracket. So the second thing, what you want to know in order for you to being a first-time home buyer is making sure to pick the right real estate agents for you and for your family. And in order for you to kind of pick the right real estate agents, you want to make sure to understand and see how responsive are they, and two, do they educate you on the home buying process? Do they walk you through a lot of the nuisance of buying a home, right? All the costs, the terminology, your rights as a new homeowner. And all the incentive programs are out there, and really to educate you on all of your options so then you can make the best option for you and your family. Okay, so finding a right real estate agent is going to be very critical for your success, because there's not that many great real estate agents out there, and there's some of them that are really good, but you just got to know what real estate agents specialize in, and what they can do to add value to you outside of real estate and within your real estate purchase. Okay, so also number 3 is that when you're buying a home, there's no such thing as a perfect home. Okay, so a lot of times people look at 3 things, which is price, the size of the house, the size of the lot, and then also like the location, like schooling. Do they want their kids to go to school, or is it close to their work? So a lot of times there's no such thing as a perfect home. A lot of times what we do with our client is that we ask them, hey, what would you rate this property from a 1 to 10? And if it's a 7.5 or an 8 and up, normally that's a really good sign to put an offer on a house. Okay, even a 9, a 9.5. When a person says a property is a 10, that means that it's a 10. Like it's their perfect home. They have very low expectations, and they just they're very grateful, and they're very appreciative of what they can afford, and whatever they can get is what they want, right? So just understand that there's no such thing as a perfect home. So just be very cognitive of when you buy your first home, because you can always upgrade, you can always rent your current home out, and for income and all that fun stuff. All right. So the fourth thing that you want to know regarding about buying your first home is you want to do your homework. Okay, so do your due diligence when you're looking at a property. A couple things we look at when we make an offer on a house. One, is this home owner occupied? Is it for, we have to determine like, what are we buying this house for? Are we buying it for living, investments, for cash flow? Like, what are we buying this property for? So the first thing is like, when we're looking at a house, we want to look at, okay, one, is the seller, does he take care and does he maintain the property, right? Is this property a rental or not? If it is, then you want to reconsider how you make an offer, or how much you love it. Because a lot of times when homes are being lived in, homes are well cared for, you can tell, right? By just looking at the exterior of the house, by looking at the interior, by looking how well they cared for the house, by looking at the neighborhood. So do your due diligence, making sure that that you inspect the property properly. 3 things to look for when you do inspect the property. Check out for water damage, okay? Look at high water damage area too. If you're living in, a dry area like California or like Phoenix or Texas, look for dry rots or termites. And then number 3, which is pretty important, I think, would be making sure that the neighborhood is decent. Like, is this a rental neighborhood or is it not a rental neighborhood? Like, am I living close to like a whole bunch of renters, or am I living close to a whole bunch of homeowners? So that's going to be very important, okay, when doing due diligence. So, a lot of time, what you do want is that there's more than 5 ways for you to back out on a real estate transactions, and the common 2 are home inspections. If the home and property doesn't go according to what you're envisioning or what you want, you can back out on the property. And then number 2 would be in the event that the property doesn't appraise, right? It's called the appraisal contingency. You can back out on the deal. And the third is really just, well, there's a couple more, and which is property disclosure, like the seller have to disclose the property, and give us information on that. Title issues, like for example, like, we can back out on the deal if they can't, they have to have the right to send us the preliminary title. And the other things are like, lead-based paint, and then also, those are and then the hazardous environmental, like, disclosures that you're able to read. So, there's a lot of ways for you to back out on the deal. And then also the finance contingency, like in the event that you cannot come up with the finance, okay? So there's a couple of ways for you to back on the deal. So just, know that the buyer contract in the real estate transaction really favors you as the home buyer, okay? And your real estate agents will be able to craft a really strong offer that allow you to win in multiple bid situation, and also that allows you to protect your rights in the event that you don't want to move forward with the property, okay? So the 5th thing, which is the final, was know your tax right and some of the options that comes with being the benefits of being a homeowner. So one other thing is that some of the mortgage interests can be like deductible. Like for example, depending on what year you live in, like your mortgage insurance premium can be deductible, depending on if you're like currently right now is 2021. Well, we're heading to 2022. But, knowing that, asking doing the research of like, hey, is my home insurance premium, which is your home insurance, can it be deductible, right? And also, is your home equity loan, is that deductible, right? What about your mortgage insurance? Are those deductible? Can you deduct those things, right? What about like depreciations and all that other fun stuff? So learn about all these like incentives and like the benefits of like owning a home. Yeah. So anyways, those are the 5 things that being a first home owner, like when you're in a market to buy a house, these are the 5 things like new homeowners need to know. And there's quite a bit of more stuff, so we'll definitely recommend some other things. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, so then we can quickly help educate you on the home buying process. And if you have any questions, our contact information is down below. So anyways, this is James and Mariz. We're gonna sign out. Peace and love, guys.